Welcome to another exciting episode of The Harvest with me, Carmel Fisher. Today, I'm super excited to have a conversation with Naveen Krishnan. He is an AI architect at Microsoft, and he leverages, as you can imagine, cutting-edge technologies to solve real-world problems. If you have any need and desire to find out more about AI and all the intricacies around it, stay tuned for more on this episode. As we welcome Naveen Krishnan now. Naveen, thank you so much for joining us. And off the bat, just jump straight into giving us a bit of your background, how you find yourself with Microsoft today as an AI architect in such a bustling, ever-evolving industry.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah, I started my career 15 years back. So I started with a small startup company back in India. I worked there for 3 years after completing my bachelor's, and I'm started moving into technology consulting company, and I've stayed there for 2 years. And I moved to US in 2015, and I worked for the same consulting company for different retail, banking, and different sectors. And now I got into Microsoft in 2021. So since then, I've part of cloud migrations and cloud stuff. But recently, and for last 1.5 to 2 years, I've been working with AI, and I'm helping customers infusing AI for in their infrastructure or infusing AI to their business. So that's what I identify use cases and solve them.
So a lot of the talk out there is also, and the concern, AI is going to take our jobs. How do you feel about that statement? But also, what do you think are the jobs more at risk? And what are the ones that will actually benefit mostly from AI? You mentioned healthcare, that's a sector, but let's talk more about actual positions, actual functions within companies.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So, first of all, AI is going to create more opportunities, and as long as we get into AI and then we get ourselves better, like what it is and how. So it's. I understand it's at very initial stage now, and maybe in 2 3 years down the line, it may get some maturity and people. So how we started practicing internet, right? This is the same way. So it's not something new or something big that what we need to worry about. So it may not take all the jobs out, but because AI can help, can create content, or AI can do things like today, in today's world, AI can create content, but then it should be someone who needs to verify whether the content is created, because it's going to make your job easy to start with. That's what I can think of. To in cutting some jobs, I don't think people say it's like white collar jobs are now gone and AI is going to do, but it's not right. So maybe it's not right for today, but I don't know how the future is going to be. So we have some ideas about the future, but it's going to make our life easy. So today, let's say for example, we have so how you go to grocery shop, like you create a list and then you go to grocery shop, and in future you think of that something in your refrigerator which is going to take care of what substance you have inside, and based on that it's going to create order for you, and that's going to be delivered at your door, and you don't have to worry about that, which means you don't have to focus on these things, and you can focus on something else which is going to be very useful and for your life and for your growth and for the industry and for the world. So, yeah, that's what it is.
So optimizing productivity basically with your help. And if you take advantage of it, you can absolutely do more of the things that you want to do, right? Instead of the mundane stuff. I totally agree. And I'm using AI myself as as things evolve, and I'm definitely seeing the benefits of it. There's a lot of talk, Naveen, about AI hallucinations, which I think also means where AI gives you a host of incorrect information. How concerned should we be about this? And what does that say about trusting AI, in our daily lives, as you mentioned?
Yeah, sure. I have been using AI in my day-to-day job. For summarizing my calls and summarizing the things like that. Apart from summarizing, I also get to ask some technical questions on day-to-day life, whatever I'm using. So at least in a day, I use 50 to 60 times. So I've not seen any wrong response or anything that I need to think of. But I have not seen anything like that. But at some places it may not have been up to date. So for those things, it's very clear and it gives you the right details. Like this is the data what I have since, and it's old for this long. Right, this is the data which is up to 2023, and so I don't have the updated data. It's going to give you that. So till date, I have not seen anything which is giving us any wrong information, especially with the copilots, whatever I have been using in my day-to-day life, right? So Office Copilot, be it Office Copilot or Microsoft Copilot or a Bing chat. So yeah, so I don't have any issues. I have not seen any issues with that.
Can you share your journey into AI, how you came to be an architect again at Microsoft, but more importantly, how your career evolved? It's not like you went to study AI, right? Because it didn't exist, I'm sure, back in the day when you just started out at college. So how did that part of your life evolve and
Uh,
progress?
yeah, sure. The strong interest in computer science and mathematics is the base for my AI journey, actually. And the other thing is, I was with technology for last 15 years, right? So as long as I started my career with writing small programs, and slowly I've evolved. As technology evolved, I kept on updating myself. So whenever you get to hear more about AI, and then you start reading, and then you start exploring like what it is and what people is talking about, and as soon as a new model is being getting released, and I go dig deep, and then I spin up the model, and then I see what's new in that model. So those types of things will keep you up to date, and so as long as you have the latest information and how things are working behind the scenes, not just getting the details of the basic details, but also go in depth and then see what's in there and how it's being built. So those types of knowledge is definitely going to be very helpful if you wanted to be a architect.
Awesome. What key differences are there between large language models and small language models? And when businesses are looking into tapping into either one, which ones should they consider using?
Yeah, sure, definitely. The large language models are basically designed to handle complex tasks and generate high quality text by leveraging vast amount of data and computational power. So they are ideal for applications requiring so what you call so understanding doing something big. And the small language models are like on the it's like more efficient and then cost effective, and it's suitable for doing a specific tasks with the limited data. So business should consider LLMs for tasks like content creation or customer support, example what I said, right? So for those, I think the LLM should be because it's built with lot many parameters. So as it has got more varieties, and then it can be more creative. So those types of things can be done by LLMs, and so yes, small language models are better for lightweight applications like chatbots or smaller chatbots, and then simple text analysis and things like that. Yeah, and I have seen recently like a small like uh, NGOs and other organizations. So basically, they are going towards SLMs. So that's why I've seen that.
Then there's also multimodal models, right? Can you explain that in layman's terms for all of us, please? And then give us some practical applications for multimodal models.
Yeah, sure. So multimodal models are multi-modal models, or like they can process and understand multiple types of data, such as text, images, and audio simultaneously. So that's the beauty of multi-modal model, and they can see, read, and listen at the same time. So practical applications like it includes visual agents. They can understand spoken command, and then visual cues, and then medical diagnostic tools that analyze both patient record and the medical images, and interactive educational tools that combine text, images, and videos to enhance the learning. So these are some examples what I can see where we can leverage multimodal models. Yes.
Awesome. And how is Microsoft Fabric integrating AI capabilities, and what are the benefits that this brings to businesses?
Yeah, so Microsoft Fabric integrates AI capabilities by embedding advanced machine learning and analytic tools to its platform. So this allows business to leverage AI for data analysis, predictive modeling, and automation directly. So uh, and the increased efficiency and the ability to uncover the insights from the large data sets. So that that's difficult to analyze manually. So these are the places where I can see Microsoft Fabric with AI is helping. And one of the use case what I just recently saw with Fabric, if I'm not wrong, so you can have so I don't have to be a well-versed programmer, right? I can just open up Fabric, and if I wanted to write some Python notebooks, and if you just there's a copilot attached to a Fabric, and which is going to help you tell your thing what you need. And for example, I wanted to pull this file, read all the Excel sheet, and then dump it into a table, and it's going to do that for you. So these types of capabilities it has got in the recent days.
Wow, incredible. What is the most exciting AI project that you've worked on at Microsoft, and why?
Yeah, so I've worked for several projects, and mostly around I can tell you the different domains what I have worked with so far. So one is education. So I've created something special for education, and that's not yet out. So it's going to take some time. And apart from that, I work for analytics basically. So how do you get analytics data? So using natural language, right? I also have an open source project on that. So which is basically you can ask, can you give me the list of orders which I placed yesterday and today, and where the product where the order contains watermelon of this, right? So these types of natural language can be converted, and then you can get a report out of it. For example, if you're running a retail store, and if you wanted to have a specific product where you wanted to know how much it's been sold or how much it's been you don't need to go spend money and have your developer create that report for you. Instead, if something things in your some thoughts comes to your mind, then if you wanted to run that data, run it up to a data and then get the results from. So that's a tool what I have developed. So that's one thing. And apart from that, I'm working on a lot of other things. So yeah, so mostly if you just follow me on LinkedIn, or either on my either read my blogs, and you will come to know my latest things what I'm working on.
Wonderful. Where are your blogs? Is it via LinkedIn, or do you have a special site for those?
Yeah, it's on Medium. So AI with Naveen Krishnan, medium.com.
Wonderful. Now, there's a lot of misconceptions out there about AI, including it's going to take all our jobs, and we're all doomed. What other misconceptions do you find are important that you know about, that you can now put to bed, right? What misconceptions about AI can you clear up for us today?
Yeah, so the one misconception, what I think is it's going to take job, so we already talked about, and the second one is AI is complex, right? AI is I have seen that in several to whomsoever I have interacted, I have seen this. So AI is not complex. AI is very easy, and so you can within like 15 20 lines of code, you can customize your own copilot. So you can recreate your own copilot. So it's just very easy, right? So that's one thing. And second thing is AI is costly. So AI is not costly, and with latest evolvement of AI, like be it GPT 4.0 mini or GPT 4.0. So these are the latest advanced models, and they are like very cheap than what it was like 8 months or 10 months back.
Wow. And that is something that easily is misconceived. The cost, the complexity, and of course, the taking of the jobs. But when you say it's not complex and it's not expensive, is that for the end user, or is that for someone like Microsoft that's creating it?
No, it's for the end user. So don't hesitate to try AI because it's complex or because it's costly. So
now, Naveen, if you remember, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, if that even, there was an open letter from the OpenAI, some of the staff on at OpenAI, requesting more regulation, and saying that they were really concerned about the ethical side of AI's development, of AI's use. What do you feel about those considerations, and how do you think is the best way to tackle ethical considerations around the development of AI?
So yeah, when you talk about ethics, ethical consideration around AI, so it's not just the open AI, or it's not just Microsoft, right? It's everyone. So how do we see AI, and how what purpose we use AI for? Because certain there are a lot of guardrails have been developed recently, and so with that guardrails, I don't think there is a way for it to lose any ethics soon. So
Looking ahead, what AI trends or developments are you most excited about?
and everything I touch, right from driving, or from dropping my kid to a school, or making my lunch, or buying something outside. So whatever I do every day, I try to think of like how AI is going to make changes. So if you have that idea, because since I work on that side, so obviously my mind goes to this type of thing, right? Like, well, if I go to a serious pharmacy and I get my medication and I start having it, so sometimes I get uh, 10 or 15 medications, right? So which is not needed. So instead, it could be like two or three, and AI can wake me every morning and then ask me like whether you had this medication, and I say yes, and and it takes my progress. Like yesterday, I had a pain level of 10. Out of 10, I had 8, and today my pain level is 6, which means it's going down. And tomorrow, when I ask, when the same bot comes and asks me like, "Hey, Naveen, how are you doing today? Did you take your tablets?" And I said yes. What's your pain level is? I don't have any pain tomorrow. Then do you need a tablet tomorrow? No. So I'm saying now to 8, 7 tablets, right? So based on these data, you get the data and then you have it, and you can use the data. For example, when the doctor is suggesting a tablet, the same tablet again to a next person, he don't have to suggest 10, because with the data whatever I have, like based on my age, based on my weight, and based on my uh, other characteristic, or based on my pain level. So I can even suggest 6 tablets. So there is a saving there. We can make tablets for you. Yeah, each tablet has its own capacity and own capability for dedicated for you. So that may be the another advancement. So we don't know what is going to be. So this is what my imagination is. Every industry is going to get a change, and that's not going to be too long. Like in maybe next 3 to 5 years, when we meet in the next time, there may be certain things which might have changed and which may be a wow for us. Yeah.
And not all change is bad, right? So it's exciting times and a lot to look forward to. This has been a fantastic conversation. Naveen Krishnan, everybody, you can find him on LinkedIn under Naveen Krishnan. You can follow his blog. Naveen is an AI architect at Microsoft and one of the leading minds in the field. And I hope you found this episode informative and insightful. Stay tuned for more. I'm Carmel Fisher, and you're listening to The Harvest. That's it for The Harvest, available anywhere you find podcasts. Stay tuned for more.